Captain, on the bridge.
Status report.
The 2nd Division has made landfall. Major General Dolores Bantha's forces have come under sustained attack. The General requests immediate orbital fire support.
Have the fleet's primary laser clusters begin firing on the 2nd's designated targets.
Confirm. Targets designated. Firing.
Hello and welcome back to the next episode of Aurora 4X here as the United Earth States. We are expanding outwards as humanity prepares for its new phase of expansion efforts. Now, where were we in the last episode? Well, we had continued to expand out, building up our ground forces in preparation for this. And we are currently training up here the 1st Army Corps. We only have the 1st Infantry Battalion actually being built or done. And we're still waiting on a lot more ground forces to be constructed. As part of that, we are constructing a lot of new ground force construction facilities as well as research facilities. There's a lot of things that I need to build and a lot of capacity that I need to bring up because I fear that we are not going to be able to grow everything that we need quick enough. So today I'm going to start by doing two specific things. First off, I'm going to go over to my colonial transport divisions, and I'm going to order for Luna to get colonized because I want to start growing population, because I envisage that population is going to be our primary issue going up here. So we're going to go ahead and load infrastructure, and we're going to go ahead and get that over to Luna and then refuel. Now that should get us approximately 48 infrastructure. Now that should take us how many trips? That 41 trips to Luna. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this 40 times. We'll do 41, and that'll take relatively little effort. Two of the things I want to develop, obviously we are developing the defense platforms. So we're building these defense platforms, but I also want to develop mines and now the good thing about having vessels which are magazines is we can just change out the loadout to use mines and just launch them out of the normal tubes, and then we don't have much of an issue. However, before we do that, we're going to need to wait for the Mark III grade ASMs to be completed, and then also a bunch of other research. There's a lot of things that we need to research at the moment that we're currently waiting on. In terms of colonization, there's a lot of places that I want to colonize, because if we have a look at resources, we have some notable weaknesses. Now, uranium, I'm not too worried about because we have plenty of uranium. Neutronium, I am worried about because we're going to need to expand shipyards massively as well as build construction factories. Construction factories cost neutronium, shipyards cost neutronium. Neutronium, as such, is very important. Then Galisite and Macaesium. Macaesium, we need to build research labs. Without Macaesium, we can't build research labs. Galisite, we need to obviously build engine ships, or engines for ships and missiles. Now, notably, these are some of the weakest resources on Mars. As such, we need to search out new resources to be able to make up for this deficit. Now, somewhere like Io, for example, has a decent amount of accessibility and is relatively nearby. Pluto also has some decent Galisite reserves. And then if we look in Sirius, we have some very nice looking comets which have access to Galisite and other resources. This comet in particular is a very good mark. So we might want to start building that. Because yes, automated mines would not be efficient. However, the amount of corundium that we have on this planet means that we can, I think I looked into it. There's something like 70,000 mines worth of corundium here, or 35,000 automated mines. So we have way more than enough corundium to just make automated mines. Because what we're essentially doing is we are trading corundium for other resources, okay? And we need to trade that corundium for the other resources as much as we can so that we can accomplish our objective, which is to massively build up our shipyard industry. In fact, I am going to again start adding slipways, which we're already doing on most of these. And I'm going to add more slipways I'm going to build more shipyards because I want Earth to be employed as the primary shipyard making industry. And eventually what we're going to do is probably move our construction factories to Mars to build stuff on location as Mars grows. Now, part of that growing that's going to be important is going to be terraforming efforts. Now, it's going to be probably, I don't know, with all the terraforming installations, it's probably going to be 5-ish years before we have enough we have warmed the planet up enough, and then it's going to be another 3 years for the oxygen, and then it's going to be a couple more years, not a couple years, probably 10, 20 years for the water vapor. There's a lot that we actually need to do here, and there's a lot of terraforming that we need to accomplish. As you can see here, we're trying to grow that to 2.67. And so that's going to take a while at that current annual terraforming capacity. Now, somewhere that I do know that we can relatively easily terraform is actually New Harmony. New Harmony has a terraforming rate of 53.13, which makes that it's very, very easy to terraform and a relatively good base surface temperature that actually works. The only thing that we need to do is add an atmosphere and add water. So, like a plant. Fucking hell. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over 10 terraforming installations. Now, we are currently moving over terraforming installations using where's our freight forces? So we're currently loading up terraforming installations here and moving them over. We're going to hold off for now, and I'm going to wait until we have the necessary terraforming installations. We can move 2 terraforming installations per thing with these guys, and that's what we'll need. Now, in terms of actual shipyard building, we are going to need a lot of freighters. I'm currently holding off because I'm waiting for this research. This research will give us, we look at transport, we look at block 2F, a lot more fuel efficiency, and then also, most importantly, will lower costs of the freighter by 100. So we're lowering costs by a good 20%, 15-20%. And that's going to make things a lot easier to build. I want to start mass producing freighters because we're going to need as many of them as possible. So let's start the game, shall we? 3 more frigates completed. We're going to build another 3 frigates immediately, but we are going to probably look at replacing them. I need to get better engine technology, that's for sure. But we're going to build 3 more frigates. Research-wise, yeah. I'm currently, as I said, waiting on a few things, but I'm also getting electronic warfare. But more importantly, something that so I'm going to be moving over 10 terraforming installations to this world, which they have enough population for, and then we should get this terraformed relatively quickly, which is good because New Harmony has a bunch of resources at relatively good accessibilities: Sorium, Iridium, Uranium, and Corbamite, and we can put mines on it, which is relatively good. Okay, we finally researched that commercial engine. With that commercial engine now done, we're going to put the rest of the research into gaseous fission reactor 62, because we are going to be building this new destroyer, the Orion class destroyer. The Orion class has 18 10cm railguns, which will give it a good point defense capability. Should be able to destroy about 5 to 6 enemy missiles per ship. It also has a close-in weapon support system for once if the missiles get through enough. And we have 8 size 8 missile launchers, doubling the firepower of the previous generation, as well as more magazine capacity and a good amount of troop capacity as well for Marines on board. And so this will be our new standard destroyer, which is more than double, just a little under double actually, the size of our previous destroyer. I'm actually quite lucky. We have a 50% power and propulsion scientist, and so we'll be able to get gas core engine technology relatively quickly. Due to changing climate, Mars has changed to a barren planet, which means that it is starting to warm up sufficiently, which is good news indeed. It now has a max or surface temperature of about -50 degrees, which is a noticeable difference. It's now actually a little bit easier colonization-wise. Luna now has 15 million population, which is good to see. We're going to get a population growth person on there immediately. Mars now hitting 155 million people. And terraforming, again, going ahead with about 0.05 atmospheres of potassium. And industrial capacity going up. I'm getting a sector command that should hopefully give some more bonuses for what we need. And we're continuing ahead with research. We also did get the Jupiter class plasma cannons, so that is good to see. And I am going to also build another thing, which is going to be static, surface assault weapon, medium static, point defense weapon, and that is going to be the 10 centimeter railgun. I'm going to go ahead and call this the Halcyon planetary Halcyon class planetary railgun, and then the year is 2063, and that is going to be avoid combat and created. And then we're going to put that into the necessary forces. So go ahead and go to ground combat. Start research. I'm going to take 5 or 3 labs away here. Let's take 5, and we're going to start research into that. So that is going to allow us to start building some surface-to-air weapons. We need quite a few of those for my defensive purposes. Now, something that I did know is that there are aliens in Altair, and that will be a good test of our ground forces to see how they fare versus that. We've just completed what looks like our first brigade, and we're now building our second brigade. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to train up the 2nd division, right? And then we are going to order the 2nd division to begin moving and fighting the enemy forces located in Altair and clear them out, because aliens are not allowed to exist on worlds that we need and deem that is important. So I have designed the Yalta class cruiser. Now this will be our 30,000 ton ship. It has 4 20cm plasma carronades for close-in weapon fire. It has 8 layers of armor, which is double that of our destroyer. 18 10cm railguns, which is same point defense capability, as well as a 2nd COS weapon system. 20 launchers, which is more than double the number of missiles, as well as enough ammunition to hold all of them. And a decent sensor suite, a better one anyway, than the existing Orion class vessel, which means that they're kind of going to be fleet leaders. I've also put 500 tons of hangar deck capacity and 500 tons of troop capacity, and that is going to be for sensorcraft and also onboard security operations. So we can have a total of 116 missiles in here, which gives us roughly nearly 5 reloads of the Mark IIIs. And so that's what we'll be using. Let's give a system of 99 SETI. Let's have a look. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. That's a very Earth-like world, but 99.6% water. Where is that located? 99 SETI is located here. That is very interesting indeed. Okay, that needs to be looked into immediately. That's very close to 95 Pucci as well. If we can start stabilizing towards that direction, how far away is that from Sol? What am I on? Wheel space? 23.5 billion kilometers. Give me a actual estimate here. If you were jump capable, could you go to what was that? 99 SETI? Only 9 billion kilometers to reach. That's pretty good, actually. Move to location. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. What about to get to B? Okay, that's actually really good. Okay, that's perfect. Assuming there's no aliens. Now, there might be aliens. But, you know. There's always a chance for aliens. Always a chance for aliens. Now, let's go over. What is that? We're going to send over, because they've just finished up, the 1st Survey Division. Actually, no, the 1st Survey Division, you need to get back for Sol, and you need to begin an overhaul, please. Speaking of, how is our current capacity looking? 364,000 tons, so we're fine for now. Okay, we're approaching. Steinfelia, do you have your sensors suite on? No, you don't. turn it on, please? Because we're going to need to see if there's any aliens. Ground force signature detected. 9,800 tons. Those are rackers. Okay, so we're fine. Now, what I do need to do is restrict this colony. So let me go and do that. So we're going to ban this body from being surveyed. And I'm going to order the ship to stop. So they probably have serviceable weapons. They have 9,800 tons. This is located not that far away. If we can start to stabilize in this direction, that should be not much of an issue. And that is going to hopefully allow us to begin colonization efforts in that direction. And it's relatively close. And assuming that that planet has resources on it, that is going to be a very important target for us. Because this planet, breathable atmosphere, temperature not an issue, no colony cost at all. Just it's perfect. The only thing is there's a small aphelion colony cost because of it. It gets a little bit too warm. And in fact, because it's so similar to Earth, I'm going to call it New Earth. Because it's so similar. So we are going to focus on getting over that. And then we've got Ro Libre, of course, which has resources as well. Anti-Garden Star, which also has this. So that is going to be definitely an area we want to colonize into as a priority. So we've made sure not to go near that body. And so we are going to be fine in that direction. We do have our drum stabilization ships currently working overtime to stabilize. I'm going to have T-Garden Star set up here soon. So that's going to be kind of a priority that we're going to make. And we're also building another jump stabilization ship as well. Nuclear blast core is 2 engine techs off. And then we also have the Halcyon planetary railgun, which we are researching. And then the nuclear pulse engine for the other stuff. Are we done with the refits? Yes. Yes, we are done with the refits. Okay, so we are going to start building Block 2F freighters. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to add slipway. And I'm going to, when we have some of this done, we're going to start building some other stuff here as well. How is the forces training up? So we're going to have 3 brigades done. So that's 150,000 tons. So we nearly got a division ready to go. And then once that division's ready to go, we're going to test that out on some enemy forces. I think that's for sure. Cordelia just finished up that jump point into Garden Star. So we're going to immediately get stabilizing on the Ro Libre. So if we go to T-Garden's Star, we have here, and then these 2 jump points are going to be very, very important. We also hopefully going to have those defense platforms ready to go here soon. Shipyard workers are ballooning on this world, and Mars has now hit 170 million people, and we are continuing to build mines on the world to grow its capacity as much as we can. Polaris has hit 18.65 million people. We're also colonizing Sirius A2. Luna is also going to be growing its population, and we're going to probably move that population over. So I'm going to make an estimate of... Probably want to move the population over here, but we're kind of waiting for environment situation to be changed. Maximum temperature minus 34 on that. Hyperion completed all this. That's on the other side of the galaxy, and that is in Kruger. So that now means that we have a jump point access to the Kruger system, so we can begin to colonize Kruger 60. Now we're going to need some names for this. Pressure is very similar, gravity is very similar. These are Earth-like planets, very, very Earth-like. With that colony cost and all that, we're going to start sending over colonial transport forces. So I'm going to group everything together. So you are moving colonist thingy. I don't want you to do that. I want you to join with the 2nd Colonial Transport Division, which is kind of a fleet now. Join with that. You are going to join as well. This gives us a total capacity of 800. We're going to have about 1 million people that we can move. We need to move approximately 500 infrastructure total. So we are going to be able to have 240,000. We have 240,000 cargo capacity here. That gives us 60,000. That gives us 300,000. That gives us well, we can move 120 infrastructure. We can move 1 million people. 120 infrastructure is equivalent to 1/4. So that will be able to move 2.5 million. So that worked. So once that's done, we're going to get those guys sent off and begin colonization in that direction. Now, they should have enough fuel to be able to reach. Yes, they do, because Kruger is 13.1 billion kilometers away. We are going to load up colonists, and we're going to load up infrastructure, and we are going to send that over to Kruger 60. We send it over to, which was the star specific, or not star, but the planet in particular. Kruger 60, that is number 3. So we're going to unload all installations, and we're going to unload colonists, and then we're going to head back to Sol and refuel. That'll take 485 days per thing. Actually, we need to unload colonists. No, we don't need to unload colonists. We can just load infrastructure, load colonists, and then go to Kruger. That's Sol, and refuel resupply. So we can do this, and then that'll be pretty good. We're going to move over. We'll do this a total of 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. So that'll take 2,000 days. 120 billion kilometers total will need to be traversed. We also obviously want to send over a garrison. We don't yet have a garrison ready to go. I mean, I could send a colonial defense corps. And I think that's what I might do. I'm going to send probably the 1st and 2nd colonial defense divisions, which is a light garrison, I know, but it should be enough for our needs. So let me grab our troop transport capacity. I'm going to detach the Cornwall, load up ground units. We're going to load up the 1st and 2nd colonial defense divisions and send them over to Kruger and land them on the planet. And then we're going to head back to Sol and refuel resupply. So that's just going to be there to ensure that we have a garrison, because I don't want to send millions of people into space without some kind of protection. Because that's usually a good idea, to have some kind of protection. But yeah, very promising up here. This needs to be colonized immediately. This needs to be colonized. So we kind of have we kind of have a corridor here. This is kind of the most important areas in our empire. We're going to have 4 pretty much perfectly habitable planets just straight away. And that means we can start transporting colonists at a pretty good rate here. We're nearly done with 3 block 2Fs as well. That is another jump stabilization ship. I want to start stabilizing to Bernard Star because of the resources located in Bernard Star. Now, Bernard Star is here. If we look, 5.9 billion kilometers. I'm not sure why it's so close. You know, how much would it take to travel to Bernard Star? Let me just have a look. Support division. If I was moving freight, so yeah, this formation, right? Cycle moves. Assuming you're capable, go to Bernard Star. That's 12 billion kilometers away. Okay. So not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab the jump stabilization ship. Put that under jump construction gate assets. And then begin moving it. Okay, that seems to be the longer way around. So going to Luton Star seems to be the better way. And then stabilize on Bernard's. Yes, that seems to be the better way. To get to Bernard Star, though that does cross into this kind of territory, which is not great at all. Okay, housing plant and railgun now done. With that now done, we're going to direct research to biology and genetics, actually. I'm going to put this lab, 5 labs onto this, and we're going to start either increasing terraforming rate or going for terraforming modules. Genome sequencing could also be very interesting because we could make people that can deal with low gravity, but I'm not really going to focus on that too much. So I'm going to go for better terraforming rate. Speaking of terraforming, how is this coming? We're at 1.14% hydrosphere. And over here, we nearly have the temperature to a decent place, but it's going to take some time still. Okay, Mark 3 ASM done. So we're going to go ahead and halt that. We will design our mines or next generation of missiles in a bit, which is going to be gas core tech. Ordnance-wise, I am going to build... how much would this be? We're going to do 1,500 missiles. And another 1,500 Mark 3 grade as well. So they'll be done relatively quickly, but we're going to need those extra missiles in stockpile. We've got a lot of like last generation missiles, which we kind of need to phase out and then move over. There's a lot of missiles like that. Okay, 3 Zanzibar Block 2Fs completed. And we're going to immediately build 3 more of them. I do not want to build the colony ship version. I want to build the freighter version, please. 1, 2, 3. And so we'll get those used to transport things as we need. But what is going on? Polaris is growing. We actually have a mining colony set up here, which has got a decent amount of resources. We're going to purchase those and set that up. We're going to have Polaris start grabbing those. So that's a decent amount of resources which we can then send over. So I'm actually going to order the new transports that we have. So we've got 3 new ones. We're going to bring those up to here. So we're going to rename that to the 6th Freight Division. There we go. We're going to go to Freight Group. We're going to go to here and we're going to go load up Mass Driver. Maximum items 1, 2, yeah, 2 here, 2 Polaris colony. Installations, and then we'll leave a freighter behind who will load up minerals and then take those back to Earth. And these ships are very efficient, which is a good thing about them. Let me go back to, let's go back to 99 SETI, please. Okay, we have a ship here in exploration. Now give me mineral information. SETI B1 has magnesium duranium at decent accessibility levels. We've not yet... What do you mean we've not yet surveyed that? Stanphilia, you need to survey that. Do you not have orders to do so? Survey Corps. Stanphilia, standing orders. Survey next 5 system bodies. Oh yeah, the aliens. I forgot. There's aliens there. Kind of an issue, not gonna lie. Okay, that brigade's nearly done, or that division's nearly done. I should have set up the organization up correctly, but it's fine. Speaking of stuff, we are going to need to build some additional transports, that's for sure. I'm going to build... Actually, no, I'm going to hold off on that because we need to update our transports. We have the Asculias B2s now. So I'm going to retool this for the Asculias B2s. Do we not have that ready to go? Block 2. 72,000 tons. Oh, and you need to literally increase your capacity by 500 tons, please. Okay, that now gives us 200,000 tons of ground forces ready to go. So we're going to set these guys up organization-wise. We want our brigade headquarters to be in rear echelon. We want our division headquarters to be in rear echelon. And then we want our artillery to be in support. Supply battalions be in rear echelon. So yeah, rear echelon, cell formations. Maintenance battalion in rear echelon. And then the comm engineers in rear echelon as well. So that gives us our full division ready to go. The 2nd division, we're going to rename the division to the 2nd infantry division. Is this an infantry division? Yes, it is an infantry division. So UEA, 2nd infantry division, 1st brigade, 2nd infantry. Okay, so we have the 2nd division ready to go. Now, I'm estimating casualties are not going to be fun on this one, but we got to test out our forces. We're going to load up the 2nd division, like that. And then we're going to assign with it a Cruiser Destroyer Squadron. So I'm going to assign the 4th Cruiser Destroyer Squadron to escort. So you're going to join the troop transport as a subfleet. Yeah, so join the 4th Troop Transport Division. 1st Troop Transport Division as subfleet, please. Okay, we have now loaded up and make sure that I have everyone on board. So we currently have 2nd Infantry Division ready to go, all forces ready. We're going to take you now to Aurora and move you to Shackleton. 141 days to arrive. And they will be able to test how good our ground forces are in their current situation. 6th Freighter Division, which is what we need. So I'm going to move you and you, and I'm going to order you to begin load all minerals until full. Take them to store, unload all minerals. Okay, we're now starting to move over those resources here, which is perfect. Mars now has 182 million people living on it. 380 mines, 24,000 tons of resources being mined from the world. And Sirius A2 now has is now starting to go. And we are also now being able to add a decent amount of water vapor. We're 0.0546, which is actually quite a bit more than Mars is, with many, many more times terraforming installations. Research into the EP 450, which is good. So that is for our destroyers, the Orion class. What are we waiting on now? Gaseous fission reactor. So that is going to be the next thing that we need. So get that designed. And anything else that we would need for the destroyer? No. Missile fire control, actually. And then the railgun. We have the railgun already, I think. Yes, we do. So I'm just going to add that now back. There we go. So I just need that done and then we'll be good. We're also getting our gas core engines completed and we'll have the other vessels done. I'm going to keep building up those defense platforms. And we're going to wait for our troop transports to hopefully arrive. At least in one piece. Okay, we have arrived in Altair above Shackleton. We are going to make sure our active sensors are actually turned on. That might be a good idea, guys. Let's turn the active sensors on. Okay, we have a ground force signature of 2,600 tons. Give me information about the world. The world is tundra, so it should be relatively easy to assault. Temperature is acceptable. We will begin ground assault then. Begin ground assault, unload all troops. That'll take a total of about a day. Troops have been unloaded. Shackleton, all forces ready to go. We need to make sure that they're hostile. Altair aliens are hostile. Good. And begin, I guess, begin it. Actually, we should have fortified defense. Yeah, fortified direction. Can I show ship? No, not show ship. But I want to provide orbital fire support, ideally. So I'm going to go over to the transport division and we're going to provide orbital fire, orbital bombardment support onto Shackleton. So orbital bombardment support is now available. We're going to assign that up. So orbital bombardment asset. Ship. Bombardment asset. We're going to have our light cruiser. Now, if I remember correctly, the forward fire direction is in the cavalry squadron. Which we will be allowing to provide support. So, auto bombardment. I'm going to go ahead and have the Aurora only help this one. Cavalry, and then we can also provide additional fire support to these. So, we're going to keep on the defensive for now, just to test out enemies. But we have our orbital fire support now ready to go, and we're going to see how long combat takes. Okay, we've engaged the enemy. Losses relatively low. Casualty numbers against enemies, please. 113 Raka warriors destroyed. Designated as Raka warrior with a hit point value of 10. Arm strength of 12. Okay, we are holding out here. 1 Cougar recon vehicle destroyed. 60 United Earth Army troopers of Lavs. So, and 21 Leopard infantry fighting vehicles. So after 8 hours of combat, we're doing decently well with overwhelming overwhelming numbers. So we took 30 hits, we got penetrated 30 times, but only units lost 6 of the Leopard infantry fighting vehicles. We took 1 loss here, remaining unit 6, that brought down our morale, and then we also took here. So it looks like they can break through our armor pretty easily. But we have 200,000 tons of ground forces ready to go. And if I check this, do we have orbital weapons firing as well here? I would hope so. I might need to assign them up. Yeah, I might need to go over here and actually assign up our ship capabilities. Also some fire control. Give me point defense laser clusters. Assign fleet. And then give me point defense laser clusters, and then assign fleet as well. Okay, let's have a look. 158 troopers die. We killed 90 Raka warriors, so we are trading worse. Orbital support report. We destroyed 1, so we are providing some orbital fire support. Even if it's not great. Raka Warrior HQ, which we managed to destroy. Okay, we're now trading about equal. A little bit less than equal. But we are managing it. So, yeah, we're trading about equal back and forth. Orbital fire support is doing, a couple hits here and there. Okay, what is ground forces total situation? We lost 20,000 tons so far. I mean, we still have 7,000 infantrymen. We don't have any tanks in here. We actually do. We have 4 tanks for various reasons, and then we also have our Aristotle construction vehicles. Our forces are beginning to fortify up, and we are also providing fire support. Of course, how is artillery doing? Attack report. Do we not have artillery firing? That's a bit of an issue. Support. Fire against the enemy now? Hello? Okay, we're going to have you just support these forces then. Support the cavalry squadrons. Okay, field artillery. There we go. Field artillery is now actually firing, which is good. So we can actually see here attack summary for field artillery battalion. United Earth Army Trooper, United Earth. So Phoenix Magnetic Artillery got 20 hits, killed 20 warriors, which is lovely to see. We are now taking, yeah, again, equivalent losses, trading back and forth. We're essentially fighting orcs here. We're now trading better than our opponents. I think that's because we vastly outmatched them in terms of numbers. They only have about 1,000 men, so we're about 7-1 in terms of total assault forces that we have on planet. Okay, with that now occurring, I'm going to order the cavalry squadrons to change field position to frontline attack, settle formations to frontline attack. And we're going to have the infantry divisions hold their position for now, or infantry battalions hold their position for now. And we are going to assault. So that should hopefully do us some better bother. Now, attack summary for cavalry division: 5 Raka warriors killed, 7 Raka warriors, 8 Raka warriors. So that should hopefully get some breakthroughs going in. There we go. Cavalry squadrons achieving breakthroughs in combat, and they are pressing the attack, which means that they should be achieving decent casualties, and they should also be able to hit them in the back, which is what we want to see. Now we're achieving full breakthroughs, and we're able to really hit into there, and our losses are getting alleviated. So, breakthrough in the attack, and we have wiped them out, I'm pretty sure. Total losses, please. 40,000 tons of ground forces were destroyed in that engagement. In terms of actual casualties, we can actually see here. So a division brigade has a total of 1,100 units. So a normal brigade would have approximately about 3,500 units. So order of battle, hierarchy, total force strength. We have lost number of units, 9,000. If we look at the Army Corps and Division Corps, we'd have 11,000. So we've lost about 2,000 units. In terms of logistics, nothing too bad. We still got those supply battalions providing supplies in the back line. Brigades are obviously in less of a case, but good job to the infantry division. We're going to let them recoup. And then we're going to pull them back. 6,000 men left, so if we can get a rough casualty estimate, brigade, each of these infantry battalions has approximately 800 men, so that is 2,100, not 2,100, 2,400 men per brigade, so that's 4,800, 7,200. So we have lost... We've lost a good amount of men. This brigade has here 300 men left. We've lost about half of them. So we lost a lot of frontline forces there. So definitely a lot more difficult. But considering the fact that the enemy aliens have... Their Raka warriors have 12 armor and 10 hit points. Compared to, one of our troopers... this man, 9 armor, 6 hit points. We have nearly half the hit points and 50% less armor. And we destroyed 2,175 of them. That's pretty damn good. And then if we look at their anti-vehicle teams, they had much better penetration capability. So I am very happy with that result. And I think that's where we'll leave the episode off here. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Hooray for the United Earth Army in its first ever action, achieving victory over the alien scum. Also, who is getting colonized? Give me some names. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for subscribing, and special thanks to all the members. I know those that have recently joined. I appreciate you a lot.